It's a common misconception that drinking 8 glasses of water a day is enough for healthy hydration. But sweat consists of water and sodium, which means you need water plus electrolytes to stay properly hydrated. Thankfully, there are products like Element that have all your electrolyte needs covered. You can try Element Recharge Sample Pack by going to drinkelement.com/speak for only the cost of shipping.
Welcome to Speak for Yourself. Myself, Wiley Acho.
Oh, I forgot. Your Clippers won, big dog.
My Clippers
We got other important things to talk about than the second best team in L.A. I forgot.
Golly, Emmanuel. Immaculate.
Thank you.
Amy Acho. Also envious. Let's get it started in Brooklyn, where the Nets have an uphill climb in tonight's Game 5 against the Bucks. Kyrie Irving has been ruled out with an ankle injury, but James Harden has been upgraded to questionable. And reports say he plans on playing, barring a setback in warm-ups. Kevin Durant is averaging nearly 30 points a game in the series, but could have help if Harden returns. So, Acho, are the Nets making a mistake rushing James Harden back?
Yes, obviously. But first, let's preface with how, unfortunately, we may all get to miss the answer to the question we all had.
Ooh.
Kevin Durant. Could you be LeBron James for a day?
Oh, can you stop? First of all, I love that cadence, that rhythm you were flowing with, but then you just messed it up with the lyrics.
Could you be LeBron James for a day? So we were all going to get the answer. Tonight, we was all going to get the answer. We was all going to get to see just for one day, KD, could you be LeBron and carry a team of no names to the finals 2007? Could you be LeBron and carry a team of no maximal superstars to the finals 2018? Could you be LeBron for a day? And unfortunately, we may not get to find out.
Because nobody wanted to know that except you.
So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. KD, I apologize. We were going to get to answer the age-old question.
Oh,
yes,
man.
The Nets are making a huge mistake rushing James Harden back. Someone answer me, when in the playoffs has rushing a superstar back worked?
Oh, okay.
Anthony Davis gets rushed back, re-aggravates his injury. Kevin Durant, 2018 NBA Finals. 2019 NBA Finals. He misses 9 games. Remember, calf injury. Comes back, first game back against the Raptors. That's not good. Klay Thompson, remember, he had a hamstring injury, game 2 of the NBA Finals against the Raptors.
Okay.
He comes back too soon. Y'all know how the kinetic chain works. Unfortunately, Klay Thompson, ACL injury. When does rushing a star player in the playoffs ever work? Remember, I've said this before. It is excess load too quickly that leads to injury. It is intensity plus volume too quickly leads to injury. James Harden, big dog, you cannot go from being out to doubtful to questionable to, barring any setbacks, we expect him to start in less than 3 hours. That's not how that works. So it's a huge mistake, a huge mistake to rush James Harden back. And dare I say, it's an indictment on the greatest player on the planet, Kevin Durant, that they felt the need to rush James Harden back.
Yeah.
If you got the best player on the planet and you can do it without James Harden, why rush him back?
Oh, I got an answer to that.
Unless you don't think you have the best player on the planet. Unless you don't think you can do it without James Harden. Huge indictment on Kevin Durant, in my opinion, but you please enlighten me, sir.
Yeah, I hope the mics are picking up when you go into that little moment, when you whisper like that. Skinny Luther Vandross, rest in peace. When you go into that zone, where's Acho? Where's the football player I used to know and wanted to host a show with without a moderator? Where did he go? Because, boy, you know damn well they're not making a mistake. This is the smartest thing they can do with the situation they were given. Let's be real about this. Everyone's incentivized to play. Every player, every coach wants their players to play, et cetera. We know that. You got to hold us back in moments like this, high-stakes moments in the playoffs. And if he can play, he should play. Let's talk about how we got down. Because if we could, we would. Don't act different up here now because that suit got tighter and you ain't got the pads on. So he's in the can conversation, so he will go out there and give it a try. With a hamstring with only 2 rounds potentially left, you know what they're thinking? We're never going to see a fully healthy James Harden. Facts?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that leads me to what I want to tell you, which is a philosophy conversation. You took us through the physics and the kinetic chain and all that. Acho, You're too literal for your own good, okay? What's 2 plus 2? Let's do it again.
Somewhere between 3 and 5.
Yes,
It's 4.
It's 4 in a literal conversation, but since we're having a loosely interpreted, logical conversation, it's somewhere between 3 and 5. Thank you for the answer. The true definition of a dilemma is having 2 bad choices. You just outlined both of them with me. Let's walk through it for our viewers. 1 bad choice is to sit them. KD, man versus machine. Go out there and play against another 2-time MVP and 2 other All-Stars. Man versus machine. That's a bad choice. Here's the other bad choice. Hey, let's go put out 70% of James Harden and let him go out there and monitor himself. That's a bad decision as well. But the definition of dilemma is 2 bad choices. So, Acho, you and I are running this team right now. What's the lesser of the 2 evils? It's not to say, oh, let's save him. Save him for what? He ain't gonna never be right this year. We already know that. So let's go out there and trust in the player, trust in the genius and the acumen, and let's see if he could go out there and self-manage.
But you know, Sel, better than anybody, the majority of people in the world, you cannot trust a player that's in the heat of the moment. What you always tell me, so far in the forest that you can't see the trees. Kevin Durant, yeah, let's trust him. He'll be back. He missed 9 games, 2019 NBA playoffs. Trust, tore his Achilles. Klay Thompson, let's trust him. Hamstring injury. He said he can play. Oh, man. Tore his ACL. Anthony Davis, just this year, let's trust him, man. He knows what he's playing through with this train. Bless you, big dog.
Thank you.
Actually bless me.
Excuse me. Hey, cool. That COVID stuff, I hope it's behind us because, good Lord, that's sprayed.
Let's trust Anthony Davis. Can't do that.
Okay.
He gets hurt after having 1 rebound, 1 assist. But the biggest thing is this, Sel. Game 6 is more important than Game 5, correct? We can establish that.
Yeah.
Game 6 more important than Game 5. And Game 7 more important than Game 6 if Game 7 happens
If
to
you're
be
fighting for 7, it's gangster.
What the Nets are doing is taking 1 step forward to take 3 steps back.
Let's go.
James Harden, you play this game, it might be a step forward, but James Harden is more likely to re-injure himself this game than to play meaningful ball in minutes.
Now, why? Yeah, where do you get that one from?
Where do I get that from?
You just, boy, we so cool, we ain't gonna agree on everything. What the hell is that?
March 31st, James Harden aggravated his hamstring.
Okay.
He missed 2 games. He missed 2 games, he came back.
Okay.
He missed 2 games, came back. He had to miss 18 games because he re-aggravated his hamstring.
Okay.
He comes back. He misses 9 games. Comes back in the playoffs, re-aggravates his hamstring. So what we know is this. James Harden, you've hurt your hamstring 3 times. The first time you missed 2 games. Came back, got hurt again. Then you missed 18 games. Came back, got hurt again. Then you missed 9 games. Came back, got hurt again. Now you're telling me you only gonna miss 4 games? And really 3 and some change?
Okay.
We've already seen the difference is this, America. When you have a hamstring tear, which is what James Harden has, he doesn't have hamstring tightness. Tightness doesn't keep you out of 4 games. A micro tear does. Then you can re-tear it. So for him to come back, Sel, we already know he's likely going to get hurt again because he's hurt his hamstring 3 times this season. So unfortunately, he will likely get hurt again. Why take a step forward to take 3 steps back? I would rather have James Harden at 90% in Game 6 and Game 7 than 70% in Game 5. I would rather have James Harden at 80% in Game 6 and Game 7 than 60% in Game 5. They are rushing him back for literally no reason.
Look, no, you wouldn't. You're sitting up here too comfortable. That's why you say that. But you're not in the heat of the battle. You're not sitting there where your job's on the line like we used to be as former
Whose job
players.
is on the line?
Let's be real. Everybody's job is always on the line because either you adding something good to your resume or something bad to your resume. And when it's over, don't act like that last moment is what did it. It's all those other dominoes that were falling that you weren't thinking about. So every time I messed up in the game, trust me, I knew that wasn't helping my cause. It was hurting my cause. What does Coach always say every time you show up? Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. And perception as well. Let's talk about this. James Harden at 70% is still going to be the 3rd best player on the court. Be real. No shots, Chris Middleton. Don't be tweeting at me if you tweeter. Drew Holiday, don't shoot at me if you. James Harden will be the 3rd best player. If he's allowed to play, if he's capable of playing, he will be the 3rd.
Huge ifs.
Okay.
Huge
ifs. But once we see that ball tipped off, and if James Harden is sitting there and there's a beard on the court, he's the 3rd best player. I'm going to tell you why.
Please do.
Because you're thinking about James Harden in totality like a dollar bill. You remember my dollar bill example. One solid 100% James Harden dollar bill. Let's go to church where even the pastor says, look, We'll take what jiggles, but we prefer what folds, if you understand what I'm saying. James Harden at 70% is some change. We'll take it, but we prefer him as a whole. But we got to take what we can right now because the collection plate is going around. KD passing it, too. He like, yo, I need some help over here. Joe Harris, damn, you've been slumping of late. You can't be the second best player. So we going to understand what's happening here. There's a couple of things I want to edit about what you're saying. One, you know when you compromise one of your senses, the other senses are enhanced.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if someone loses their sight, all of a sudden they hear better. All right, et cetera. So when you compromise how you're feeling, and you've been in this position before, miraculously, somehow, some way, you can still go out there and play better. Let me give you one literal reason why you can play better. Because the fastest thing on the court is not anybody, it's the ball.
Okay.
Yeah. I tell my son this all the time when he grab a ball in baseball and he try to run and then throw. I said, dog, that ball way faster than you just ran. So let go of the ball. James Harden, with his acumen, his genius, which will be enhanced because he's physically compromised, will all of a sudden be out there throwing around the fastest thing on the court, which is that ball, as an assist leader. Guarantee you, James Harden finishes this game 17 and 11 minimum. That's what we're going to see out of him, third best player on the court. And James Harden knows what he's dealing with. He knows he has to micromanage himself as he goes through that micro tear of his hamstring. All of these things add up, man. Some of my best games, my best season, I had a broken foot. My second best season, I had back surgery. Something about, now you can't go to this well too often, but there's something about being compromised, which enhances your focus and understands that you need to go out there and use other capabilities.
I agree with you.
Right.
When something is compromised, other abilities have to be enhanced.
They have to.
But that also means, because what does enhance mean? Heighten or increase. That also means you call on other things more than you would have otherwise.
That ain't good.
Remember when Klay Thompson's hamstring was compromised, his knees were called on to do more.
Yeah.
Maybe his IT bands were called on to do more. When Kevin Durant's calf was compromised, his Achilles was enhanced or called on to do more. When Anthony Davis's groin is compromised, thus his other groin is called on to do more or enhanced. So I don't disagree that James Harden is going to have to enhance other abilities. The issue is enhancing other abilities going to lead to the downfall of those same abilities? I also caution everyone of this.
I hear that.
Steve Nash is the worst head coach to have in this position. Here is why. Steve Nash has the most limited range of player management. Remember, Kyrie Irving was playing 34 minutes in the regular season on average. He was playing 43 minutes in the playoffs. Kevin Durant playing 33 minutes in the regular season on average. He was playing 41 minutes in the playoffs. James Harden, what he was playing in the regular season on average was drastically less in comparison to how many minutes they're playing in the playoffs. Steve Nash don't know nothing about load management. Steve Nash is learning on the fly. One of the greatest basketball players of all time, in my opinion. Obviously, I was a Mavs fan. He balled for the Mavericks.
Too.
But as far as a head coach, he don't really know how to do this whole management thing. He's just going to go out there and shoot all his bullets and see what he got left in the chamber. That's not how you can manage a hamstring. A hamstring, you're going to have to taper that down. But what I'm cautious of is this mostly. James Harden, you can get through warm-ups. 2014, I have a torn groin before the Cowboys game Thanksgiving Day on 4 days of rest. I got through warm-ups with ease. General manager Howie Roseman standing there, head coach Chip Kelly, linebacker coach Rick Minter, defensive coordinator Billy Davis. They're all watching me, make sure I clear the warm-up drills to clear me for the game. I did that with ease because I know when my coach says, hey, left, I'm moving left, right, I'm moving right, back, I'm moving back, forward, I'm moving forward. I know all the movements that are coming, so my brain can tell my body, hey, what's about to happen, and it can prepare for that movement so that I do not get hurt.
I'm with you.
But come game time, when all of a sudden I don't realize that DeMarco Murray's about to do that, and now I have to respond, now I get hurt. James Harden, he can easily go through warm-ups. Shuffle left, shuffle right, okay, opened up, box out. He can do all that. But what's he going to do when Giannis is on a break and about to go to the cup? What's he going to do when Drew Holiday rips him and now he has to make a sudden movement to try to go get the ball back? That is what I am worried about. Talk to me.
The beauty of our show, no moderator, baby. We going to keep it pure, uncut dope up in here. You nailed that. Now, let me counter that nail with this point. When you go out there and start healthy in your mind, or at least you're in the belief system that I'm good, that's when you really get re-injured. Think about it. All the instances you brought up, those guys thought that they were good. Versus someone who goes out there like, no, I know I'm not good. However, I'm going to keep the governor on. You know what that is? I'm going to make some business decisions every single play, right? I've been there before where I'm like, all right, I'm good. Forget when I played. Let's talk about last Sunday. My hips been feeling really good. Like to the point I'm using this CBD oil and all this stuff. I don't feel high. I guess THC too. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm rubbing it in. It's feeling better, much better. Sunday, my son, after practice, everybody wants to run. All these 5-year-olds running around. I'm the monster. And, you know, I still got a little short burst. Ask Keyshawn Johnson. I smoked his ass. So I still got that in me. And I could catch these kids. And then one kid ran under the slide. I said, I know you got to come out. I jumped over the slide, landed. Reminded me. Because in my mind, I thought I was healthy. Now, every other week I do it, I know I ain't healthy. I ain't had the oil. So I was just out there not doing everything. Watch James Harden. He gonna know how to govern himself. He's gonna understand I'm not here to run after Drew Holiday all game long. I'm just here to get my 17 and 11, make sure that KD doesn't have to carry the burden all by himself, and let's get this. Oh, by the way, Steve Nash got 2 head coaches on the side with him, D'Antoni and Jacques Vaughn, so he ain't that damn underman. Coming up, do the Nets need James Harden to win the series? Obviously, we know what Acho thinks, but we'll answer that later. But first, Clippers are rolling again. Rolling. We'll tell you if they've taken control of the series. You know what I think. That's next. Don't speak for yourself.
Let's get to Marcellus's Clippers. They tied up the series 2-2 against the Jazz last night behind a combined 62 points from PG and Kawhi Leonard. The win was highlighted by Kawhi's gigantic dunk on Derek Favors. PG said Kawhi is leading the way. And when it comes to the playoffs, quote, you know what time it is. It's written all over him. We're joined by NBA analyst Slick Rick Buka. Basel, if your Clippers taking control of the series.
Which one is my better side? This side or this side? I look straight at y'all and told y'all, welcome to my party. Hell yeah, we took control of this series. Grown man sweep time. That's when you spot somebody 2 games and say, okay, now I'm about to cut you. And bah, 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 bah. That's what we're going to do to Utah. Stay in Utah, y'all. Whatever y'all want to do. Don't come back here. It's a wrap. It's a burrito wrap. I told you guys what was going to happen. We are a better team than them. We are not only deeper, but we have a dynamic duo. I don't see their dynamic duo in the same level, same strength, same capacity as ours. Yesterday, we saw something happen. 3 of our players in double figures, and we still spanked those guys. Let's talk about this. We were up 24 at the half, largest halftime lead of the playoffs. Yes, my Clippers, who have won the combined games 3 and 4 by 40 points. Yesterday was so bad that even my man Marcus Morris said, let me jump in here and add a little syrup to these pancakes. And you know what he did? Went 5 for 6 from 3. 24 points. And you know we're undefeated this year where Marcus Morris has over 20 points, 13-0. Point being, I could say everything. I could say a lot. But I'm going to pass this baton because I want to see if anyone wants to counter the best team left playing in the NBA. My Los Angeles Clippers.
See, you was doing good until that last sentence. The Clippers have taken control of the series, but they've done it in 2 reasons. Number one, the Clippers have caused us to misidentify themselves. First 2 games, we were asking for the big 2. Where the big 2? Where the big 2? I was like, there is no big 2. There's only Kawhi Leonard, and PG is not showing up to the game. But the last 2 games, they've been playing with the big 3. All of a sudden, Reggie Jackson starts balling and Marcus Morris starts balling. You see 24 points. You see 20-plus points. We've misidentified the Clippers. It's not our fault, and I'm not going to take ownership for that. It's going to be on PG for being a chameleon and being 2 different characters at the same time. Wow. So that's the first reason they've taken control. But the second reason, the domino reason, is Spidey Mitchell. They now have him not maximizing his abilities. Spidey Mitchell, every single game, his field goal percentage has gone down. Sometimes marginally, sometimes maximally. Then you see his plus-minus every single game. It is starting to get worse and worse and worse. He's still scoring a lot of points, but y'all have to understand his efficiency. Game 3 even. He shot 15, no, game 2 even, when he shot 30, had 37 points compared to game 4's 37 points. Game 2, he was 15 of 29 from the field. Game 4, he was 9 of 26 from the field. So, yeah, he's still got some points up in the box score, but he's not doing it the same way. For that reason, because the Clippers have taken control of Spidey Mitchell, they've taken control of the series as well.
Emi Acho, wasn't life better when the Clippers were erratic? This Marcellus Wiley is close to insufferable right now.
Which side?
But let me... No, they have not taken control of the series. I would swear that Marcellus has come up with the questions for every segment involving the Clippers in the show today. Because it gets worse from here, people.
Oh, yes.
Don't go anywhere. It's going to get worse. No, they haven't taken control because it's not the what, it's the where.
Uh-oh.
When was the last time that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard won in Salt Lake City wearing a Clippers uniform? The answer would be never. They did not do it earlier in the regular season this year. They did not do it in the regular season last year. And they have yet to do it in this playoff series. And Utah, maybe Salt Lake, whatever they're calling their arena these days, is the hardest place to play in the league right now. The Philly fans have nothing on the Utah Jazz fans when it comes to being nasty. The inside of that building is built like a silo. It funnels all the noise down onto the court, and when you're on the court, you look up and it looks like people are literally hovering over you. So it is a very difficult place to play. Gets really loud. It's almost deafening. So while they played those first two games in this series close, until I see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard deliver a win in Salt Lake City wearing this uniform, which I have never seen, I can't possibly say that they have control of the series, no matter how well they've collectively played in the last two in L.A.
Slick. I'm going to clap on that, too.
Where you
because
gonna go, Sal? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, sympathy claps, golf claps, all those kind of claps, man. I don't know if you were prepping in the A block while Acho and I were talking about the CBD and THC oil that I rub on my hip, but I'm going to give you something for your shoulder for all that reaching you doing in your first lap, that first take you just did. Boy, if I ever hear another person come on this show in their first lap and talk about fans and arena angles and talk about that's the reason why we need to be scared, nobody's scared of Utah. Because the fans don't play. Get on the court. Maybe if all 18,000 of them help their team, struggling asses, maybe we be shook. But right now, it's a wrap because we got them right here. Doesn't matter where they go. Everywhere they go, there they are. We figured these boys out. Let me tell you why. And it is about our duo. Acho, yeah, you stay on the screen. Because Kawhi and PG are averaging a combined 55 points a game. Most among any top duo in the playoffs. Oh, yes. Most combined points in the playoffs by a duo. Yes. Clippers shooting 42% from three. Yes. Regular season form. All y'all who think that's high, that's just our average right there. Woo! All 11 games this postseason, Kawhi and PG have had 20 or more points. That's called double barrel every time you line up. Now, we going back to Utah. It's weird. Last series, we couldn't win at home. This series, we can't win on the road. Which way y'all gonna cut it? It doesn't matter how y'all slice it. We are up to the task. And I only want to talk about the road ahead after we get finished. Grown man sweeping Utah. But trust me, it's going to happen. As long as you guys don't bring in any more arena angles and fans, we're fine. Trust me, because the team on the court, not good enough to handle what we got.
Sellers, you didn't like my argument, but you didn't counter my argument.
I
you
did.
still need to explain to me.
He left that rib open.
Oh, that rib open?
He left that rib
With
open.
numbers? How do I counter that they haven't beat Utah there until they beat Utah there in Game 5? Like,
I don't know. That's your job, not mine. That's why I'm saying they don't have control of the series.
Oh, interesting. Look, that's a good pushback. Here's the thing. I can't predict what they're going to do. I'm just going to tell you what has happened before, struggles in Utah, but that's not the same team. That's not the same guys.
As did I.
Yeah. But look at this situation. When you look at the Clippers now, fully formed, think about what Ty Lue has done. This is why I'm going to counter your fan base with our coaching staff. Ty Lue making all the right decisions. More importantly, not concerned with your personal feelings, just by the team outcome. Luka, Game 1, Game 2. Game 3, Game 4. Keep going with Luka. What happened? Acho, I need to see your face, too. Did we wear Luka down? Fourth quarters especially. Did we wear him down? Yes. Now, get Acho out of here. Spider Mitchell. Spider! What happened to you? Acho just put up a full screen. Well, Spider Mitchell was out there. Game 1, unstoppable. Luka like. Game 2, a little less stoppable. Game 3, a little worse. Game 4, a little worse. Point being, we're doing what we did to Luka, but we're doing it to you now, Donovan Mitchell. It's the same thing. Our defense is showing up. More importantly, our firepower, our artillery, and all of the guys are contributing. It's a problem. Sorry, Utah. What's your fan base? Can't counter that.
Here is the minor pushback, though, Sel, that you have to be conscious and cognizant of.
Where?
Remember the Clippers, we've seen this before. They lost the first 2 to the Mavs. They lost by 10, they lost by 6. Then they went and blew the Mavs out. They won by 10, they won by 25. I'm sure, because I was here, you came up after that. The Clippers got control of this series. But what happened? They went and they lost to the Mavericks once again. We've seen this movie. We bought the T-shirts. We've eaten the popcorn. We watched the whole thing all unfold before. The Clippers lost by 6 and then won by 25. We just saw the Clippers lose by 6, game 2, and now just had a dominant win. I'm not so sold on the Clippers in full control because if you want to tell me, Sel, that the Clippers' past is an indicator of their present, they shut down Luka, and so they're going to shut down Spidey.
We did.
Then their past must also be an indicator of their present. They won 2 after losing 2, and then they lost game 5.
You can't
they
learn.
won 2 after losing 2, and now game 5 is a question mark.
I'm going to go back to the question because, Marcellus, I agree with you. The Clippers are playing their best basketball right now, and I believe that they will win this series over the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
But if we're asking, do they have control of the series? Marcellus, these are the Clippers. They've never had complete control over anything. You are asking me to go 100%. I did that last year, and I paid the price. So, look, do I have a little PTSD when it comes to the Clippers?
That's it.
Absolutely, but it's not unwarranted. So until they show me every step of the way that they are different than the Clippers I've seen in the past, then I'm going to say I have to see it before I believe it. And I have yet to see them win in Salt Lake City. So until I do, I can't possibly say that they have control of the series. If they win game 5 in Salt Lake City, now I'm with you because I've seen it.
Man, Slick, I feel for you, brother. After the show, we're going to talk, man. I don't want your yesterday to rob your tomorrow. And it's sad that you're not like me. Like, it doesn't matter what I've been through, man. I survive and then I thrive, man. I'm breaking generational curses, you know. First one to get on the airplane in my family, you're damn right. That's sad. First one to graduate from college. That's all right. First one to make a couple commas on that money. Boy, that's who I am. And I'm looking at my Clippers like this is going to be our first time getting that Clip City. Why? It's not just about how great we are. Only team left in the playoffs with 2 25-point scorers. Yes. It's all about the Jazz. Did y'all watch last game? Fewest points in the quarter for the Jazz all season? 13. Only 2 players with a plus-minus that's positive. Ingles and Gobert. What? Donovan Mitchell, minus 22? 6th man of the year. Jordan Clarkson. Untuck your braids out of the headband, too. Minus 50 through game 4?
That was all in LA.
Second most turnovers in a game among teams in the playoffs? Boy, will y'all stop? It ain't even about how great we are. It's about how we're wearing down that team. Yes, we have taken total control. Coming up, James Harden could return in game 5 tonight. Fix your face, Acho. Fix your face. We'll tell you if the Nets need him to win the series. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Insufferable, Slick.
Yes.
He's insufferable.
And it's going to get worse. Saturday on Fox, the Cardinals take on the Braves. But the White Sox battle the Astros, and the Reds face the Padres. It all starts 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area. Let's get back to the NBA, where the Nets will be without Kyrie Irving for tonight's Game 5 with an ankle injury. But help will be on the way for Kevin Durant, since James Harden has been upgraded to questionable, and reports say he plans on playing, barring a setback in warm-ups. So Slick Rick is back, but Acho, Do the Nets need James Harden to win the series?
Obviously, or he wouldn't be rushed back out there. Steve Nash knows, Sel, what I was trying not to admit and what you refused to admit, that Kevin Durant cannot do this by himself.
Ooh.
I was trying not to admit that. Yesterday, I came on the show and I said, KD, if you're the greatest player currently, you will be able to win this series by yourself. Slick Rick came on this show and said no one alive or dead could accomplish such a feat, but I wouldn't go that far. I still wondered, KD, could you? Sel, you took the stance of he could. I took the stance of we'll see, and Slick Rick said it's not possible. Unfortunately, Steve Nash came in with a trump card and said, I'm going to save y'all all the effort. The answer is no. James Harden, we desperately need you to win this series. If they didn't need James Harden to win this series, he wouldn't have gone to out, to doubtful, to probable, to likely to play in a matter of 3 hours. Here's how I know. Sel, you and I, we've been in locker rooms before.
Yes, sir.
We've been in a situation where either a starter or backup, a significant player was injured, and they was going to try to rush back. And we looked at him if we knew we could handle biz, and we said, hey, big dog, don't even worry about it. We got you.
Trip.
We said, don't even worry about it, Slick. We got you, big dog. We can handle this business without you. At the point in which James Harden is trying to rush back from an injury, we know he's rushing back because he's hurt his hamstring 3 times over the last 3 months. At the point in which he's trying to rush back, Steve Nash, KD, somebody who knew they got him, could have easily looked at him and said, hey, big dog, don't worry about that, bro. We got you. Come with us game 6 to come close it out because we're going to get this without you. But that didn't happen. Instead, what did happen, James Harden, in a scurry, in a rush to get back on the court. There's only one reason you rush him back on the court, and that's if you know you need him to win the series. So Steve Nash, what he is not physically and verbally saying, but is saying by action, I will say verbally, they desperately need Harden to win the series.
That is 1,000% correct, and your reasoning is spot on. Because if they go back to Milwaukee, down 3-2, this series is over. They know that. And it's understandable because you'd be asking Kevin Durant, who to this point has been your best rim protector, arguably your best defender, and your top scorer. Now you're asking him to do all of those and be your playmaker as well. Ooh. And darn near may have to bring the ball up the court, depending on what Mike James is or isn't able to do. So their only chance at advancing out of this round is to have one of the other two available. Now, what gets very interesting is that Kevin Durant has been in this exact same situation in the finals a couple years ago and decided to go because the Warriors were looking at it. And while people on the outside might have said, well, they might be able to get it done without KD, internally, the Warriors knew different. And KD gave it a go, and it not only knocked him out of the series, it cost him the entire following season. That's what is at stake here with James Harden. And so the only reason that you would roll the dice is if you believe we have no other option but to play James, see if he can stay on the court, and see if that's going to be enough to get this done.
I disagree with you guys. No. And here's why I disagree with you, because none of you guys have evidence. None of you guys will have the receipts to justify what you just said. So I'm going to flip this. Now I'm going to say, no, they don't need them, but we'll never find out. Why? Because y'all caught that, right? Let's flip it a different way, without the negative connotation, without the connotation of weakness when you show need. 3 men up here who, I don't know, maybe don't want to feel like we need anything, but guess what? I need my wife. I need Anna Maria. I ain't scared to tell her I need you, baby. But you know what? This world will make you think that if you need something, you're weak. But if you want something, you're strong. Oh, I want it, but I ain't tripping. Hold on, big dog. We are looking at a machine. These are 3 dudes minimum on the Bucks that can go get it. We got Giannis, 2-time MVP. We got Drew Holiday. We got Chris Middleton. We talking about all-stars right here versus KD solo creep. All right, I'll give it to you like this.
Like what?
Mike Tyson in his heyday. Acho, I don't even think you were born for real. I ain't trying to clown, but I mean, Mike Tyson with the cut-up towel and the black shoes, no socks. You remember those days? Coming out. Mike Tyson, he knocked out everybody before Buster Douglas. It wasn't even a contest. However, Mike Tyson in those times, heyday, had to fight 3 different boxers at one time. Who would you bet on? Yeah, it got quiet. That's the point. I don't give a damn who they are. None of them are Mike Tyson. None of those dudes are KD. However, 3-on-1, got a conversation right there. And that's why Steve Nash, that's why James Harden, that's why nobody else on the Nets walked up to Harden and say, we got you, big dog. Because they know in reality, we may not have it without some assistance for KD. Joe Harris ain't going to be enough. Blake Griffin going back to the Father Time and begging for one more year is not going to be enough. And that's no slight at KD. That's no slight at his greatness. It's just showing you, man versus machine, usually machine wins.
Sel, we're not now going to act like Chris Middleton, who started the series, I believe, 6 of 24 or something ridiculously terrible from the field, is all of a sudden a machine. We're not going to act like Drew Holiday, who you was just clowning a couple games ago, is all of a sudden a machine. Let's not try to build up the Bucks so we can make Kevin Durant look better. I see what you're doing. I'm not going to allow it.
It works.
Now, sometimes, Sal, the fact that we aren't going to find out if Kevin Durant could have done it by himself tells us that he couldn't have done it by himself. The fact that Steve Nash is saying they need James Harden tells us everything we need to know about whether or not he trusts KD to get the job done. Remember, AD, after he tore his groin, he flew to Phoenix. He went through warm-ups. He ain't played. Probably ain't played because they was like, you know what? At least we think LeBron James can do it by himself. They were wrong, obviously. But they said, at least we think he can do it by himself. As for James Harden and Kevin Durant, the second they had a chance, okay, James Harden, you can walk. You can do speed 6 on the treadmill. Screw it. Just go out there. Go out there. We're going to play you. Come on now, Sel. I know that the Nets need James Harden to win. And again, I've said this before, and I know we got the full screen. Just a quick reminder. Whenever James Harden played, whether it was with Kyrie or with KD, the Nets were 19-3. Whenever James Harden did not play, just look at the other combinations. 11-11. They are sitting at 500 without James Harden, and they're sitting at an 86% winning percentage with James Harden. It's not just opinions. The stats and the facts show the Nets need James Harden, and he's the conduit to their success.
Yeah, there's only one reason where all this starts is that James Harden has to believe I can play and I want to give it a go. And if the Nets were of the mind, you know what? It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the risk. As Acho pointed out, how many times he's injured this hamstring already. We're not willing to go down that road. But Harden has a tremendous amount at stake here in terms of, I wanted to go to Brooklyn. I forced my way out of Houston to get there. And we all know his playoff history, being on the court, but not delivering. So he has to give it a go in order to at least keep all of those critics at bay when it comes to his postseason history. Whether it's going to be enough, that's, to me, the next question. Even with Harden, can they get it done? This particular Harden, I'm not so sure. In fact, I would say no. But without Harden, we've already seen, you're saying we haven't seen this. We did. We just saw it in the last game. The Bucks aren't world beaters. They didn't play their best basketball. But there was at no point any thought that KD and the Nets were going to come back and win that game once Kyrie Irving was out.
That's fair. Because when the game plan doesn't switch, why does your mind have to switch right in that moment? KD was instructed in game plan that he was going to go out there with Kyrie Irving and execute X. When you lose Kyrie Irving, everything has to change. And I understand that, yeah, we could have just saw KD just start jacking them up. But he had no points in the fourth quarter, and they all were taken out with 4:28 left in that fourth quarter. Unfair to KD. This game plan was different. It was going to be all on KD. And then I'm sure James Harden inserted himself into this game plan to the reasons you mentioned, Slick. It's real. He got fat. He got out of shape. He did whatever he had to do to make Houston realize that, hey, I'm not committed to you guys, whatever that was to James Harden. And then he left Houston, burned some bridges in the process of leaving Houston. There is a ton on the line for him. But I still say this, 70% of James Harden is still the third best player on the court. Yeah, that includes you, Chris Middleton. Yeah, that includes you, Drew Holiday. This is the truest definition of a dilemma. They got two bad choices, so they got to pick the lesser of the two evils. James Harden, you sit down, we go down, and it's a sinking ship, and James Harden sitting there on the shoreline just chilling. Or we go down with 70% of James Harden and see if he could do something, throw us a dinghy, anything. Because I'm going to get to you, Acho, put your head down. Okay, I'm going to get to you. Here's the thing. Anthony Davis, y'all remember that last game when he went out there for a few seconds?
6 minutes.
And you know why he did it? It wasn't just because I'm down with the team. It was also to try and change narrative. Like, everybody always says I'm off injured. I'm never there when they need me most. The only time I was there, we had a 5-month break in a bubble. So he went out there and gave it a oh-boy try. It may be as simple as that for James Harden. I'm going to give it a oh-boy try. Hey, I know I've had my playoff issues, but look, I'm still trying to go down with my team. Or we may see a compromised James Harden who can tap into other senses, enhance those, use his genius, and actually play. And play well. That's what I'm hoping for. That's why I think they do need him. Acho?
I'm confused, though, Sel, because you can't tell me that the Bucks are a machine because of Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and in the same breath tell me that a 70% James Harden is greater than Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday.
Oh, I can.
Because if 70% James Harden is greater than Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, then they cannot be comprised of a machine if a guy at 70% is still better than those two.
Oh, I'll tell you why, because it is the math. See, Kyrie Irving, I didn't mention his name, but he factors into this equation. Chris Middleton giving you in the playoffs 21-8-4. You just took away 23-6-3. Okay, who's going to replace that? You going to say Joe Harris? He's been slumping of late. You going to say Blake Griffin because he had back-to-back games of double figures? No. So why does 70% of James Harden kick in? Because if he gives you 17 and 11, limping around, that's going to make up the difference, not only what's lost by Kyrie Irving, but what's gained because Chris Middleton gets to bundle up with Drew Holiday. So it's just simple mathematics. Where are you going to get 23-6-3 from? We got to start chipping away at that. That's why KD needs some level of assistance. Coming up, are the Browns really neck and neck with the Chiefs in the AFC? Well, we'll answer that next on Speak For Yourself. Watch it, Speak For Yourself. Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Acho. Let's head to the AFC, where the Browns had their best record since 1994 last season, but they lost in the playoffs to the Chiefs. But it's a new year with big expectations in Cleveland. Travis Kelce said the Browns are a contender and added, quote, I think the Browns and Chiefs are definitely neck and neck. Acho, are the Browns neck and neck with the Chiefs in the AFC?
Absolutely they are, Sel. And I don't know that this is actually even debatable. Running backs, who has the better core? We know. See, they get bored.
Voltron.
They get bored when you better kill them. Running backs, we know the Browns have a better core. Offensive line, seeing as the Chiefs have to replace, I believe, 3 starters up front.
They've replaced 2 already.
We already know the Browns have a better offensive line. Wide receiving core, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. I would take the Cleveland Browns. If you want to say receiving group, counting Travis Kelce and Miko and Tyreek Hill, give me the Chiefs. Defense, secondary, Chiefs got Ty Matthew, but you know what the Browns got. You know they got Denzel Ward. You know they just drafted Newsome in the first round. You know they got Grant Delpit, who won the Thorpe but missed last year with an ACL injury. Defensive line, something you know better than even I. Chris Jones, nice. Frank Clark, nice. But Myles Garrett, we aren't going to laugh at him, not going to scoff at him. Jadeveon Clowney, I actually don't love, but I think he'll make some noise opposite Myles Garrett.
Oh, because he's now here on Cleveland team.
So with that, I think he might make some noise opposite Myles Garrett. So with all that being said, are they neck and neck?
Neck and neck?
Yes, but what comes above the neck? The head.
Oh.
And who's the head of the team, the quarterback? So they neck and neck.
No, keep going. No, it's time to slight Cleveland once.
They neck and
neck. Talk about that head.
But when you get to the head, which is Patrick Mahomes versus the head, which is Baker Mayfield, that is when the Kansas City Chiefs are still a head above the Cleveland Browns. But the question is, are they neck and neck? Neck and neck, I don't know why you was doing all that ha-ha, kiki, and giggling.
Whoa.
Teams, rosters,
yes.
The Browns are better.
What the hell?
Real talk. Like, it's not arguable. The Browns got the better running backs. You know this.
You ain't going a retake.
They do.
Remix of the retake.
Do they not? Like Q&A. Do the Browns have the better running backs?
I don't give a damn what they got. It ain't adding up. So whatever.
It all adds up.
It doesn't add up. Okay, let's go. 2 years ago, what was all that doing? Adding up. What did they do?
Did they
make
have
the
a head
playoffs?
coach. They did not have a head coach.
Last year, they made the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
How far did they go? They go
to
as
the
far.
Cleveland Browns, to the Chiefs game and lost by 5.
Come on. They played each other, and one team kept playing. Okay, how far did that team go? All the way to the Super Bowl. What happened to the Cleveland Browns? Neck and neck. I don't even know the disparity between people who have the same neck height, but then who got a big ass Peyton Manning, like who head is so long and you like, he's 6'6" and he's 5'11", but they neck and neck. I don't know, but I'm not gonna let you tell me that you look at these two teams and the only difference is the gap between Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield.
It was a 5-point gap.
Are you kidding me?
It was a 5-point gap.
We were just saying, let me stop saying we, because I'm gonna use you against you and see how you like fighting yourself. You told me that the Chiefs were dynastic. You told me that the Chiefs were going to score 30-some points in the Super Bowl, whatever.
Yes, sir.
We know they've been to back-to-back Super Bowls. We're talking about comparing them to a team that just made the playoffs for the first time since 1994 when you were 4 years young. Acho, you got an Emmy or two. Did you win a second one?
Just one, I know.
Damn it. Look at me.
At least I won the individual, though. I know.
Boom, my dog. Don't feel bad. You won one. I got donut. Guess what? In terms of winning Emmys, we ain't neck and neck, okay? What else have you all state in high school? I ain't neck and neck with you. Now, when it comes to them contracts and the pros, you ain't neck and neck with me. Dog, you know how we do this. When we all got together on our recruiting trips, you went to UT, so
yes,
I know you were, everybody showed up. I'm all state this, I'm this and this. There was a big joker. Playboy All-American. Oh, shut up, dog. He that dude. Other than that, let me see your Letterman jacket. Damn. I ain't got to talk to you. I don't want to talk to Cleveland about, but my running backs, but my tight ends.
Have to.
All I got to do is look at that Letterman jacket. Not enough patches. Not enough patches.
I have just one question for you, Marcellus Wiley.
Uh-oh. Do I got to answer?
How many points would you say that Patrick Mahomes is greater than Baker Mayfield over the course of a game? 2 touchdowns?
Okay,
a touchdown?
Is it in the Super Bowl or any other game?
Any other game.
Because in the Super Bowl, he ain't going to score.
Any other game. How many points would you say that Patrick Mahomes will get you more than Baker Mayfield?
That's so tough because it's interdependent on his weapons.
Of course.
But I think for real, he's 1 to 2 touchdowns greater.
Correct. He's 1 to 2 touchdowns greater.
Minimum.
When Patrick Mahomes got hurt, the Chiefs were 1 to 2 touchdowns ahead of the Cleveland Browns.
And Baker couldn't beat the backup.
What I'm saying is, outside of the quarterbacks, the teams are literally better, or the Chiefs are, or the Browns are better. They better.
Come back. I'm reeling you back in. Bruh, if I put you on the Browns right now, your mind wouldn't even imagine the things that if I put you on the Chiefs, they would. Seriously, we've been on that team. Dog, how many teams you play for? I played on 4 teams. How many you played on?
3.
3.
Right, Browns, Giants, Eagles.
Is one of them not counting you or you not counting one of them?
Giants not counting me?
I love it. I bet Jacksonville shouldn't count me. Here's the thing, dog. When you land, you do the census. You measure what's on the team. And you look at the soil and you're like, oh, we got something here. I'm saying when you land in Cleveland right now, you got something here, but a lot more to prove. When you land in Kansas City, it's not anything to prove. It's something to live up to. So there's a completely different expectation versus we got to build something in Cleveland versus we just got to maintain something in Kansas City. Got to bring in, I got Hot 100. We got to bring in Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. So, Greg, the Browns neck and neck with the Chiefs in the AFC.
No, they are not neck and neck with the Chiefs in the AFC. And what you said last, Marcellus, is exactly where I'm going to head. The expectations. The expectations of the Chiefs are so far beyond what the expectations of the Cleveland Browns have been and are even going into this season. So with that being said, that alone lets me know they're not on the same playing field. Now, how the Browns view the Chiefs, that may be different. I don't think that they fear the Chiefs. I think Travis Kelce has a point. Yeah, he's honoring the fact that this team is no longer the Browns that we've come to know over the last however many years. And so I think you have to address that. They are a better team. They are a real contender. But when you look at elite teams in the National Football League, specifically targeting the AFC, we don't say Cleveland Browns right away. We say Kansas City Chiefs right away. That is the first team that comes out of each one of our mouths. So there is no way we can sit here and the second team is not Cleveland Browns. So there's no way we can say that they're really neck and neck, Acho. And when you look at the quarterback and the quarterback disparity, yes, they have great talent. A lot of teams have great talent, but the experience separates that talent when that talent has no experience. And the Cleveland Browns are gaining experience, but the Chiefs have been there. They've done that. They've won. They've lost at the highest height. The Cleveland Browns are still reaching that. They're hungry. They're hungry. They're salivating, but they're not there yet.
My dog, G, you put that take together as good as you put that outfit together. I respect that take. I respect that take. But now I got to take y'all back to math class to make my point.
Go.
PEMDAS. You should know what that stands for, Marcellus. You went to Columbia. Gee, I don't know about your education. PEMDAS. Y'all remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It's the order of operations in math. How you have to figure out how you're going to multiply an equation. Come on, Sale. You went to Columbia.
I ain't go to Harvard.
Anyway, all that is to say that you can have all these digits inside parentheses, but you still have to multiply them first by the number outside of the parentheses. Why do I bring that up, Sel? Because very simply put, inside the parentheses, the Cleveland Browns, those numbers add up to more than the numbers that the Chiefs have inside the parentheses. Because outside of that one digit, outside the parentheses, which is the quarterback position of Patrick Mahomes, the Cleveland Browns actually sum a greater amount of talent than the Chiefs sum up. I do not have to restate it, but G, you will at least admit it is true because you've called games, so you know. Top to bottom, the Browns roster is better than the Chiefs roster, top to bottom, particularly when you assume you're losing your right tackle, you're losing your left tackle, you're replacing one of your guards. Specifically when you assume all of that, the Browns got a better roster. The only difference is that quarterback position, albeit a very major difference because of who they are and because of how significant that position is. But I understand why Travis Kelce would say they're neck and neck. Because when he looks at it, he's like, hey, they a nice squad. We only beat them by 5. We was up by 12, but they had the ball when we had Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes didn't trip and get hurt. They knocked Patrick Mahomes out the game. So you know what? We are neck and neck. I think we would be sleeping on the Browns to not assume they're closer than we believe they are.
Oh.
So one thing my wife always tells me is when people talk and you communicate and dialogue with individuals and they make a huge statement or a long statement and then they say, but, it just canceled everything that they just said.
But I said therefore.
Like that's you did. But if we
you did.
But if we take what is outside the parentheses, and so when you look at teams, and yes, I call games, so I understand how this works. You all understand how it works. We're gonna take you to call games. Y'all see this game. Y'all play this game.
Yeah.
When you look at these teams, you can't. The only time you separate teams and dissect them is when you're going position from position. But when we talk about teams, you can't do that. You say this team, that team, all of what they embody versus all of what they embody. That's coaching staff, that's quarterback, that's player, that's everything. And the teams are not neck and neck, Acho. Personnel-wise, if we want to go position, if we want to break the teams down, we're not doing that, though. We're taking the entirety of each individual team and saying, are they comparable? Are they neck and neck? And the simple answer is, my friend, no.
Thank you, Greg. I mean, you hammered the second lap as well as you did the first lap. Boy, you should have seen out your face off mic, off camera. It was hilarious. I'm with you, GJ. Man, look, tier 1 is the Chiefs and the Bills. Let's be real about this.
That's that Tesla alarm again?
Yeah, that Tesla, boy, them doors open up on themselves. Tier 2, Baltimore Ravens. Uh-oh. And then you start talking about the Chiefs, and Cleveland. You start talking about Indy. You start going into that world. But Acho knows that there's a difference in the expectations. He put up a good fight, but not good enough. Let's be real. We all went to high school with, let's say Lady 1, who was, okay, versus Lady 2, she fine. Like, it's just, the Chiefs are. And another one, okay. Like it's a little bit of I ain't see all that. And Travis Kelce, you ain't slick. You had Jarvis Landry's softball tournament, probably sauced up, chilling, trying to pay homage to the homie. Yeah, we neck and neck. Now take this camera off so I can tell you the truth. That's how I think about this situation, because the last 3 years, I've seen the Chiefs make the AFC Championship game. Acho, since Baker's been there all 3 years, how many AFC Championship? You know what this is? This is what I call it. I call it kind of like a. Y'all ever heard somebody say kind of like a? And I just, every time, I'm going to tell y'all come up to me talking about kind of like a, I'm about to roll my eyes in your face. Somebody come up to me like, yeah, man, I'm about to get this keyboard. It's kind of like an Apple keyboard. Look, y'all, if you don't get the Apple keyboard, I don't know what you talking about. Oh, I got an electric car, too. It's kind of like a. If you ain't got my, dog, it's okay. Just have what you got. Stop trying to be kind of like a. The Browns ain't kind of like a Chiefs. They just the Browns. Coming up, Kawhi and PG went off last night.
Kind of like them.
We'll tell you if we're convinced the Clippers are unstoppable right now. Well, you know what I'm going to say. That's next on Speak for Yourself. That's lying, bro.
Let's get back to Wiley's Clippers, because they took care of business against the Jazz last night to tie up the series. LA has now won 2 straight by a combined 40 points. Kawhi Leonard, PG, and Marcus Morris Sr. led the way with nearly 90 points combined. Had to bring in Slick Rick for this one. But, Sal, are you convinced that your Clippers are unstoppable right now?
Absolutely convinced. And I'm not even up here with my Chip City bias right now. I'm just giving y'all some
Yes, you are.
You know,
Exactly.
damn right I am. That never works, huh? No, you can see through that? Okay, all right, whatever. It's going to be the same answer, whether I'm objective or me. Guess what? It's over. Because only 2 things can stop us. Ourselves, which is not going to happen. Why? Because I trust in Ty Lue. He's going to make the tough decisions. He's going to do what's best for the team, even if it's to personal discomfort. But more importantly, I don't see another team out there able to stop us. We get through this with the Utah Jazz, this grown man sweep. Okay, what's next? Phoenix? That dull butter knife? I keep telling y'all about them. Look, I like their talent. I respect Chris Paul. That's the homie. They are a good team, but they're not battle-tested like my Clippers are. So they're going to find themselves in an unfamiliar situation. What is that? Going against a dynamic duo that's the greatest duo going right now in the playoffs in terms of points scored. And more importantly, tremendous depth that we'll be able to throw at Phoenix's way. So you look at all of that in totality, the Phoenix team is going to try and draw on experience. But what's the experience? You beat the bubble ring Lakers without AD, and you beat that team, and that's the play-in champions. Get them out the way so you're not really battle-tested there. Oh, no, we beat the Denver Nugget. Yeah, you're right. Not Nuggets. No, Jamal Murray, you beat the Denver Nugget. And that's it. And y'all going to try and go against the deepest team in the West and the dynamic duo that's playing the best? It's not going to add up well for y'all. So I don't see a team out there. Oh, you want to go all the way to the finals? Brooklyn. I love them. They beat up. Will they even make it? And if they don't make it, don't even mention the other teams because it's a wrap. Clip City, Chip City.
Sal, I got something that's going to make you, along with every other Clippers fan, a little bit nervous. At least it should. Because what can stop the Clippers? Controversy. What do I mean?
All right.
The Clippers are front runners. I do not say that as a slight. They are front runners. Front running just means they can run from in front. When the game is not close, the Clippers are dominant. Okay, it sounds like a crazy take. Consider this, Marcellus Wiley. Games that are played in the playoffs within 6 points or less, the Clippers are 0-4. But games in the playoffs within 11 points or more, the Clippers are 4-0. If it's a blowout, the Clippers got you. But if it's down to the wire, the Clippers don't got a chance. If it's a 2-possession game or less, Clippers ain't going to handle that one. But if it's a 4-possession game or greater, there's not a chance you're going to touch the Clippers. The Clippers don't have to worry about talent. That's not the issue. The Clippers don't have to worry about scoring points. That's not the issue. What do the Clippers have to worry about? And you brought it up, Marcellus. Load management, it turned into lead management. There's a lack of management as it pertains to leadership. You don't have to be a leader when you're up by 15 and 20 points. You do have to be a leader when you're down by 3 with a minute left. You do have to be a leader when you're up by 4 with 2 minutes left. In close games, the Clippers don't get it done. In blowout games, the Clippers more than get it done. So why am I not confident that the Clippers are unstoppable? Because they're front runners. As long as they can run from in front, it's all good. I'm just not convinced they'll be able to run from in front throughout the rest of the playoffs.
Ooh. Man, that was well done, Wiley Acho.
My dog.
Well done. I'm going to approach it from a different angle. But bottom line is, you guys asked me yesterday, am I confident in the Clippers? And I said no. Then earlier in this show, you asked me, are they in control? And I said no. So what do you expect me to say now when you ask me, are they unstoppable? No! Because while they do have the number one offensive or number one rated offense in the playoffs to this point, they are the 8th rated defense right now. And there are 5 teams still alive ahead of them, including the Phoenix Suns, that they're going to have to go through. And it kind of goes to the same point that Acho made. If they're ahead, if they're flowing, yeah, they're unstoppable in that situation. But to say that they're unstoppable for the remainder of the playoffs is to suggest that they are unstoppable in every situation. And the fact of the matter is, defensively, they still have some issues. Even offensively, are they the highest rated field goal percentage team in the playoffs? No, that would be the Sixers. Are they the highest three-point percentage team in the playoffs? No, that would be the Jazz. Are they the highest rebounding team? Oh my God, no. They're almost as bad at that as they are at defense. They're 8th rated. So while I believe the Clippers should be favored at this point, I can in no way say they're unstoppable because there are some teams that are better at them in some key parts of the game that they are still going to face in order to get this done.
Who gonna stop us? Who gonna stop us, huh? Nobody's gonna stop us because nobody else has a duo that's scoring like our duo is. You know they have the most combined points of any duo remaining in the playoffs. Okay, you know we're shooting 42% from the three-point line. Who's going to stop us? Who's going to stop us, huh? You know we played the Suns already this regular season. We're 2-1 up in that regular season series. Who going to stop us? Who going to stop us, huh? And they had a better overall record, and we still beat them in the season series. Okay, let's talk about how we led in free throw percentage, which is the easy money, and also three-point percentage. And then you talk about we got defensive issues. Yes, our rating may be low, but look at the matchups because styles make fights. Phoenix, I dare y'all. Look, damn it. Chris Paul, ooh, if he hit me up. Chris, Patrick Beverly, he gonna come see you. Kawhi, he gonna come say what's up. Everybody, even PG gonna get a little bite of that. Nyam, nyam, nyam. Terrence Mann, all them boys, Devin Booker, all y'all got guys. We got more of them. So when we say meet up, crew deep at the flagpole, it's gonna be a problem. Fire marshal's gonna get called on the Clippers because we showing up way too deep over capacity with cats that we gonna throw at you. And they don't all have to be individually great, even though Kawhi is, even though Paul George is. The point of it is we gonna kill y'all by a death of 1,000 paper cuts because we just have too much ammunition. Does anyone want to retort on that? Because y'all know we too deep for them boys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I got my hand up now.
What's up?
Now, you've really hit this idea of the dynamic duo. You've hit it really hard, Marcellus. Have you not? Isn't that really kind of the flagpole to your entire argument? Is that
55
we got
points
two
a game,
superstars and they're rolling, right?
Yes.
That's it, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to recall Game 3 when the Bucks won 86-83. Who was the guy who pulled out the stats about Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo
I wouldn't hear that.
having the biggest percentage of any duo of their team scoring?
Oh, wait a minute.
And what a flawed thing that was because they couldn't possibly win that. Was that you, Marcellus, who gave me that argument?
I didn't.
Right, Acho?
That was him,
you
right?
right?
Taking it out of context. That statistic
Right?
was for
No, I'm just asking the question, Marcellus. I'm not making accusations. I'm just asking a question.
Dog is hollering over here. Hey, hold on. I gave you 11 games, all 11 games in the postseason. 20 or more points by our dynamic duo. I said 55 points a game average in the playoffs. Playoffs, 11 games. I'm not talking about that one game with Giannis and Chris Middleton. You try to cook the books with that context right there. But I'm going to get you too, Slick, and I'm going to get you, Acho, at the same time. Because y'all over there both agreeing, yeah, the Clippers are front runners. Explain this if we're such front runners. Why in the Dallas series were we down 0-2? Why in this series were we down 0-2? And more importantly, in the Dallas series, also behind early in games, and came back to win if we such front runners, if we don't have the character and the resolve to come from behind and still get the victory. Explain why 0-2-0-2 is a front runner mentality.
So within the game of play, when y'all are on the court, it is very simple. When y'all have to have somebody step up and be a leader in the moment, when things aren't going well in the moment, when it's really neck and neck, that is when it's like, uh-oh. Who gonna show up in a big heat of the battle? Y'all, it's clear and day y'all are front runners. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be a front runner if you never get
It's kind
behind.
of a bad thing. It's kind of a bad thing.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
No,
if you never get behind.
It doesn't have to be.
But the fact of the matter is, the Suns will give them an issue if they get past the Jazz. But remember, Sal, we already saw what the Mavericks did to the Clippers in the first one. They lost 3 and 4. They won Game 5. Jazz lost 3 and 4. I anticipate that the Jazz will win Game 5. Now y'all are going to have to, like Slick said, it's likely going to have to go down to 7. Can y'all handle it?
I put everything on this. Push-ups, whatever you want, money, whatever you want to lose. We ain't going to 7.
So you think this grown man
sweep
4 straight?
What you mean 4 straight? You mean 2 more straight?
Yeah,
We got them other 2 in the bank already. Stop talking about them. We got 2 more to do. It's a grown man sweep.
Bet.
Oh, Slick, you get in, Slick.
Come on, bet.
I don't even believe the word.
I want to hear it.
Coming out of his mouth. I tried to tell y'all, brother. Grown man sweep, Clips in 6. Coming up, the Bucks and Nets. I just saw how you didn't take that bet. They have a huge Game 5 tonight. But we'll tell you if there's more pressure on Giannis or Kevin Durant. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Yeah, want that one, huh? The Bucks and Nets have a pivotal Game 5 matchup tonight in Brooklyn. Kevin Durant could be the lone member of the Nets' big 3 since Kyrie Irving is out and James Harden is listed as questionable. On the other side, the Bucks have won 2 straight, and Giannis scored nearly 70 points in that span. That's right. So, Acho, who has more pressure tonight, Giannis or KD, baby?
I really enjoy this show, Sel, because unlike some shows, like Truly, our tense moments aren't fabricated. Right? Like, I genuinely don't know where you're going with your answer, but my answer was not going to be predicated upon yours. KD is under more pressure tonight. And KD is under more pressure tonight because I believe that to whom much is given, much is required. Okay. Therefore, to whom more is given, more is required. Within the last week, we heard the story, fabricated or true, depending on what side of the coin you fall, that Kevin Durant went up to an NBA analyst and said, don't you ever compare me to Giannis.
Ever.
Don't you ever compare me to Giannis.
With an A in it.
Ever. So we're not the same player. He can't do what I can do. In the event that that story is true, then Kevin Durant, we know you are a greater player than Giannis. At least that's what you've led us to believe. I'm not necessarily yet convinced as far as a better player conducive to winning more games. But we do know that individually you're a better player than Giannis. If you're a better player than Giannis, then you got to play better than Giannis. Really all that simple. If you're a better player than Giannis, then you should be able to get the job done, particularly if James Harden is on the court. KD's under much more pressure. Why? Because Giannis is playing with house money. Bucks went down 0-2, and all we did was say, oh, that's who the Bucks are. Giannis is limited. He'll never win as the number 1, as the best player on his team. Bucks have been knocked out the playoffs the last 2 years, even though they had the best record in the regular season. Last 2 years. The Nets were supposed to go to the chip. Giannis, just be happy that you're here. We already counted the Bucks out. But now the Bucks tied it up 2-2, and we're like, oh, wait a second. So, Giannis, you were already counted out. You were already about to get up and leave the table being out of money, but you turned that last little $25 chip into enough to still sit here and play. Kevin Durant, on the other hand, we already counted you in. We already counted you in the NBA Finals, and now it looks like you're out. Vastly different perspectives. For that reason, on my first lap, more pressure falls on KD.
I'm sorry, brother. We're going to have to go to war on this one. It's Giannis, and it's not even a conversation. One, your Letterman jacket ain't got enough patches for you to be coming up here acting like you Kevin Durant, and you don't have that pressure on you. I'm going to use your words against you.
Please do.
My favorite thing to do in Debate 101. To whom more was given, more has been earned. And if you look at Kevin Durant, he has earned more because he was given more. Let me look for Giannis. Have you ever been to the finals? Why this show so quiet? Okay, no. Have you won a finals MVP? Well, kind of hard to do that if you've never been to the finals. Have you won 2 of them like Kevin Durant? No, you haven't. So you don't even have a ring, let alone 2 rings, let alone an appearance. But you can take advantage of the wounded. And that's all Giannis got right now. Giannis went out. If Giannis would have saw the Brooklyn Nets as they were favored in Game 1 when they were fully loaded before James Harden had the hamstring and before, obviously, Kyrie Irving had the ankle, they weren't favored, and they got smoked. Not once, but twice. All of a sudden, Giannis sees the wounded lion, and now all of a sudden he want to roar. That's easy to do. You're going against a team that's not even a team anymore. It's just Kevin Durant, and maybe James Harden tries to limp his way to giving them some support. This is something that Giannis needs to do to prove to Milwaukee that he can do something in the efforts of winning the championship, not continuously run into that same brick wall. The only thing different about this brick wall is that the bricks jumped out the wall themselves because they're hurt. But other than that, he wouldn't have been able to scale this one as well as he hasn't in the past. 4 playoff series wins in 8 career seasons. Boy, on my first slap, as you like to say, I just know that Giannis is feeling the heat. He better take advantage of this wounded animal, because if not, he ain't going to ever eat.
You told me, Sel, that pressure is dependent upon what's at stake.
Okay. I guess
You told me pressure is dependent upon what's at stake.
What's at stake?
What's at stake for Giannis? There isn't much at stake for Giannis. Why do I say that? Because we've already conceded. You said on this show, people said on the show prior to us, we have already conceded that I said that Giannis is falling in the same bucket as Russell Westbrook. Incredible regular season player, but he may be limited in the playoffs to win a chip. The majority of NBA analysts and TV opinionists have all opined the same thing, that Giannis is an incredible player, but he's limited. We ain't never said that about KD. We've said KD's the best player in the world. And so if Giannis, we've already conceded, is limited, and KD is unlimited, is fully limitless, then KD got to act like it. Here's the problem. We're living with KD off this perception because of scoring alone. 31, 8, and 4. 27, 14, and 6. KD is averaging 31, 8, and 4. Giannis, 27, 14, and 6. But for some reason, these two players can't be in the same conversation.
Have you seen them play?
These two play, and that's where we go to. But you're not really saying, have you seen them play?
Have you seen the numbers?
You're really saying, have you seen them score?
Have you seen the receipts?
That's what you're going to.
KD played defense in Golden State. Will you stop
The receipts are, the series is tied up at 2-2. The receipt says Giannis's Bucks have won the last 2. The receipts are Giannis has 27, 14, and 6. I don't know how. Yes, is KD the better scorer? Absolutely.
Is he the better player?
He about to show us. Isn't he?
Okay, right now.
Isn't he about to show us?
Hey, Acho, me and you at Venice Beach. Put your shirt on first of all so we can go meet Giannis and KD if they come over. Who you drafting? I hope you say Giannis just to finish this take, because we ain't even going to run the games. Both healthy? Stop playing. Giannis, in terms of accolade, is a souped-up Chris Paul. Dog.
Can I ask you something, Marcellus Wiley? Can I ask you a question, Marcellus Wiley?
But that ain't Kevin Durant in accolade.
What has Kevin Durant done that Giannis couldn't do?
Oh, you ready? If Giannis joined the Golden State Warriors,
you telling me they wouldn't have won? You telling me they wouldn't have won?
Why are you fighting me right now? I'm still your friend. They would have won.
Thank you.
But guess what? Steph Curry would have let him. It wouldn't have been Giannis, because KD showed up and Steph Curry said, defer.
Sir.
He would have. You think Steph Curry let Giannis without the finer skills of his game lead them? He can't even shoot free throws. Hell no, he would have done what KD did.
What has Kevin Durant done that Giannis could do? Giannis, if he would have joined Golden State, would have won 2 chips with Golden State.
Yeah,
maybe
he would have been the Finals MVP.
Maybe 3, because Giannis don't get hurt. So maybe he would have won 3. But if you want to talk about Finals MVP, who would have filled up the box score more, Giannis or Steph? Giannis may have filled up the box score.
But we live in the May world.
No. Okay, but my point is this.
You know what? Because Giannis hasn't done that, that's why pressure's on.
So that's why we're here. We're here for who's under more pressure. The person under more pressure is Kevin Durant.
Who's under more pressure to pay their bills every month? Somebody who got it or somebody who don't? Giannis ain't got it. Giannis, look, every time they say we need that big check, Giannis like, oh, the way my checking and savings works. Nobody want to hear your Kevin Hart excuse. We want to hear where the money at, where the chips at. You ain't got no chips.
Sir, the homeless person is under significantly less pressure than the person who lives in Beverly Hills.
Wait a minute, you went way... Yeah, exactly, and that's Giannis. You actually make my point. But we ain't go that low. Keep him in an apartment at least. God, dumb.
I'm saying, Giannis, as far as collective accolades, he ain't got none.
Exactly, that's why he looking at that bill like... delinquency. He delinquent. That's pressure. It ain't when you can pay him when you got a CPA paying him. You ain't even touching your bills. You pay your bills? I don't.
Here's the issue.
Who paying your bills?
Here's the issue. The issue is this. We haven't seen Kevin Durant, and unfortunately, we may not get to again. We haven't seen him win a chip without another MVP.
Oh, I know what you want to do.
We haven't seen him win without an MVP. So now, the playing fields are actually fairly level. Now, you say that Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, well, they weren't All-Stars this year, just FYI. If everybody wants to make them out to be All-Stars, they weren't All-Stars this year. So you want to tell me that, well, Giannis has a mega super team with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. And we want to act like Kevin Durant, he just out there with slouches, even though Blake Griffin just gave you double-double.
Blake Griffin, that's my dog. Don't you do that. So Blake Griffin gave up $18 million to just show up.
With all that being said, Stel, it is Kevin Durant.
Don't rub your hands, Pastor, and think this is over. I ain't praying with you. Nope. I've got my own God up there to pray to. You lowered the bar. You think you slick. Mr. Olympian. You going to Olympic trials? I'm trying to. Boy, you love you some track. I found my friend. But we all know every now and then we peak in the infield. What they doing in the high jump. And they start off at 6 feet.
Yes, sir.
And never do they lower the bar.
No.
It's just, if you can't reach it, too bad. So why are you lowering the bar for Giannis? How? Because you're saying, well, it's the pressure on it, because we already conceded that he can't jump that high. Hey, that's on you, bro. Get up out of here. Join us in the stands then. Because if you out there, the bar goes up. KD's bar went up.
Yes, sir. Here, okay, good. We're here. We're at the high jump now. We're at the high jump and we watching. Everybody's clapping.
Oh, very flop on your head, boy. Look at this.
Everybody start clapping.
Let me get over 6 feet.
Okay,
Here go Giannis.
Here's the kicker.
Here go Giannis.
We know that Giannis is going to get out at a certain height. We know that he's going to get out at a certain height. Here's the thing. Kevin Durant, he was getting out at the same height until all of a sudden he got help. He looked over and he said, oh, let me put on my Curry 2s. Oh, Clay, you got some. Oh, Clay. Oh, Draymond. Kevin Durant was getting out at the same height. Let's not get it twisted. Kevin Durant was having more egregious errors. How you blow a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Final? Where they do that at if you're the greatest player?
Wow.
Kevin Durant was getting out at the same height as Giannis, except all of a sudden, Steph?
No.
Ooh, Draymond?
Damn.
Ooh, Clay?
Damn.
Now I can clear the bar.
Damn.
No more Harden?
Damn.
No more Kyrie? Now let's see who can get higher, big dog.
Damn, I know you love track. But track is me. That's my deepest love. And you don't watch every single track.
Talk to me, because
you must have missed this one. When my boy Otto Bolton was sitting there, Dwight Stone, all them boys talking that noise. You remember when KD went to the finals?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Which time?
He didn't have on Steph Curry 2s. He didn't have on Steph.
When he got beat 4-1?
Hey, did he go?
Yes, sir.
Did he go?
I'm asking what time.
You see his shoes? They call KDs. You got some Giannis's? I ain't got none.
I do, actually. He's Nigerian. He got the custom Nigerian joints. I'm wearing tomorrow to set.
You boxed me in on that one because I had a good joke, but I ain't coming out of that Nigerian shoe joke. Coming up, LeBron is the face of the Lakers. I need to see them
tomorrow.
But we'll tell you, Anthony Davis can take the torch from the king. Next, don't speak for yourself. Please tell me.
Yo, he got a custom joint, bruh.
They gifted you those. Ain't no way.
Let's get to the Lakers, huh? They were sent on an early vacation. They chilling in Cabo right now because the Suns knocked them out the playoffs. Now, LeBron James is the face of the franchise, obviously, but fellow Laker Jared Dudley says people think LeBron is slowing down, and that's why you have Anthony Davis. Dudley added AD will, quote, take the torch next year. So, Sel,
yes,
can Anthony Davis take the torch from LeBron James?
Yeah, he could take it from him and drop it. And boom, 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 like I just dropped this pen. Boom, 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 boom. Let me give it to you like this. First, let me let everybody know that since Acho creates a lot of the rundown and the topics and a lot of the wording.
I'm going to take some fault here, America.
I'm talking about a team that's in Cancun right now and what they could do going forward. The hell?
Bro, we spent 30 minutes on your Clippers.
Can we still play?
Can we at least spend 3 minutes on the Lakers?
Really?
And LeBron James, please?
Oh, yeah, all right. What's the next block? Orlando Magic? Like, what we going to talk about? These teams that ain't got nothing to do. I don't care about them. But let me tell you about this, because this weekend starts the Olympic trials, correct?
Yes, sir.
In Eugene, Oregon, correct?
No doubt about it.
This is my take on this. You know I'm a national record holder and national champion.
Tell me every show, Marcellus.
Bring the trophy in. I saw it the other day.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I do, actually. Whoa. My picture, okay. The trophy, not in good shape. But let me show you this. This will happen when I ran in Eugene at the age of 11. Like, think about it. I ran at Track City International Classic. Yes, me. Eugene, Oregon, 11 years young. And I remember we just broke the national record. So I had that Giannis feeling, pressure on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling like this. Baton, I'm anchor. So I'm like, all right. And I know, you got the infield clock. You're looking right here. This is Anthony Davis. You got the infield clock, and they coming in. And the pressure wasn't we going to win, because I didn't even see the second team. Like, they were still on their, second leg. We already giving it in. Come on, Wiley. And my boy giving the baton. And in my mind, I was like, I'm about to take off, and we're going to break our own record. Think about it. Every kid that has ran track at that age forever, we were faster than them. Oh, it felt good. Give it to me, Mark Adolphus. Give it to me, one of the trips. Give it to me. I'm out. And it hits my leg. No lie. And it falls on the ground. Now, my first thought was, pick it up, fool. Second thought was, where the other team at? Third thought was, there go that record that we were going to try to break again. But I took off. We still won. Anyway, let me bring this back to Anthony Davis.
He don't have to, honest. That was a good story.
Oh, you like that story? Okay, all right. Coming up. No, but here we go. Anthony Davis, come on, LeBron. Your old ass, 36, limping. Come on, give it to me. And then he going to take off and bow. Something going to snap. Because he's not reliable in terms of health. We always say the greatest ability is availability, but it's also ability and reliability. He's not reliable enough. LeBron can go into deep waters and fish with any test line.
Yeah.
AD, I'm sorry to say it, from an injury-prone player myself to AD, he's not reliable enough.
I agree with you. I do not think that AD can take the torch from LeBron and do anything with it. The only point in taking a torch is to continue to pass it along. What do they do, again, to stay on the Olympics theme? Before the Olympics, they pass the torch. It goes around and around it. Individuals take it and they pass it to somebody else. The only reason that LeBron should give the torch to AD is if AD can do something with it. But the issue is this. I'm not convinced that AD is a number one. Can AD be the best player on a championship team? The reason I'm not convinced that AD can be the best player on a championship team is because I'm not convinced that AD can survive an entire championship run and a season championship run. The Lakers had several different ways to climb the hill to get to a championship this year. If the Lakers are just a 2 or 3 seed, so AD, just stay healthy for the regular season. We don't necessarily need you for the playoffs. Say they're a 3 seed. They're getting past the Blazers round 1.
Okay.
They're getting past the Grizzlies round 1, even without AD. Okay, AD, say you're not healthy for the regular season, but you're fully healthy for the postseason. You're getting past the 1-seeded Jazz or the 2-seeded Suns. AD, I just need you here or there. I need you somewhere, but you can't not be here nor be there. Pick one place to not show up. It's all good, but you got to show up at some junction in time. So AD can't take the torch from LeBron, but also what we're not talking about, LeBron's not going to pass the torch.
You don't know.
I'm just realizing, this is all for naught because LeBron isn't passing the torch to AD because LeBron knows he can't run with it.
Well, LeBron passed first, but not with the torch, huh? That's funny. You know what? I tell all the people that didn't make it pro, and I had a lot of homies that actually thought they were going to make it pro that didn't. And it's a tough conversation. But you come to realize as you grow up that the professional athletes we know aren't there exclusively because of just talent.
Of course.
And it's weird because people always think the biggest, fastest, strongest, they make it. And if I'm not that, then I'm not going to make it. I'm like, it's not just a talent conversation. Professionalism comes into play. Now, what is professionalism? Sometimes it's just doing the dirty things and not tripping on it. Sometimes it's doing the things that's necessary, those necessary evils. Sometimes it's just persevering. I didn't get derailed by this issue in my life. I didn't have this issue going on in my life. I stayed on the tracks. Why I bring this up with AD? Because his talent, by talent, yes. Give me the torch now, LeBron. I'm going to steal it from you. But because of everything else that comes with it, which includes health as the primary issue, I got to keep him out that category of leading the team to a championship right now. Coming up, James Harden could return in Game 5 tonight. We'll tell you what we expect to see from the former MVP. That's next on Speak for Yourself. The Nets could be getting a big boost for their Game 5 matchup tonight against the Bucks. James Harden has been out since Game 1 with a hamstring injury, but he's been upgraded to questionable. Reports say he plans on playing barring a setback in warm-up. So, Acho, what are your expectations for James Harden tonight?
I have none, Sel. I have none at all. Because my realistic expectation, I'd rather not verbalize than him probably re-aggravating the hamstring injury. America, you do not miss 4 games essentially with hamstring tightness.
Yeah.
Here's when you know somebody is severely injured. If they cannot overcome adrenaline to continue playing, they are hurt. Chris Paul, he messes up his shoulder, he gets back into the game. LeBron James, he severely injures his ankle, so much so that he has to miss 26 consecutive games. But even due to adrenaline, he can stay in the game and get buckets. The late Kobe Bryant, he ruptures an Achilles. Some people don't give him the credit, but I know friends who tore an Achilles. Even because of adrenaline, he can go to the free throw line and sink 2 free throws. James Harden, even with the adrenaline of playing in a huge series, messes up his hamstring and instantly gets off court. It wasn't even like, let me see if I can push through. My own example, I tear my groin. I've told y'all this against the Tennessee Titans. I crawl up off the ground. And I'm like, oh, we in the goal line. Let me try to push through one more play. Completely torn groin. Because adrenaline can get you through more than Tylenol, ibuprofen, or a Toradol shot. So at the point in which James Harden's adrenaline made him exit the game immediately, I knew that hamstring was a real issue. So you can also attest to the fact that it's not hamstring tightness, it's a hamstring tear.
Yeah.
And anything that is torn can be retorn. Anything that is not torn can obviously be torn, but anything that is torn can easily be retorn. That is why James Harden has already strained his hamstring 3 times now. So my expectations, I have none. I'm not going to go in and expect James Harden to give us 17 and 11. I'm going to go in and expect James Harden to play very conservatively. And unfortunately, he will probably try to make a sudden move and may re-aggravate the injury. And I don't anticipate him impacting this game at all.
I think he's going to have a big impact. Sometimes it's just presence, man. He's going to have the governor on, as I said earlier, which means, hey, there's a restriction on this thing. You know, he's going to be driving around the school, 25 miles an hour. That's it. But the fastest thing on the court will be the ball and his mind, moving faster than anything else he sees. He's a genius at what he does. So I heard that little comment you said about Kobe, rest in peace, when you said, nah, people don't give him credit for that free throw. You know why? I'm going to break that one down. I had a torn Achilles. It's debilitating. It's not painful. It's a weird one. Like, my most painful injury, my torn abdominal walls, I can talk about my shoulder, talk about my back. The Achilles tear is just like, what was that? Most people look around. You know why? Because you don't feel it. You heard it. And then you go to the free throw line, you make those buckets. I just wanted to explain that moment to people, why Kobe still, even going through the pain, still said, I could do this, because it wasn't as painful. But you know what's interesting? What can counter the pain? You said adrenaline. Tylenol, Toradol, no. That no-name long-ass needle they gonna give James Harden, that helps, bruh. That helps. But this is James Harden in this situation. I'm gonna be real about it. I don't know where you live in Beverly Hills adjacent. You haven't invited me over just yet. I don't know what kind of appliances you got in your house. I don't know you got Viking, Whirlpool. I don't know what you got. But if you got one of them fancy new stoves, your boy got one. Okay. I grew up with a stove that went like this. Turn it on, blah, and that was it. Turn it off, right? These stoves now, you go like this, it go boom. And then it's on high. Then it goes medium high. Then it goes medium. Then it goes medium low. Then it goes low. James Harden gonna be on low, but it's still enough to light a fire to get these nets cooking. That's James Harden this week. Coming up, this is a shot of Lambeau Field. But where's Aaron Rodgers? He ain't there. We'll tell you how nervous the Packers should be right now. Next, don't speak for yourself.
Packers CEO and President Mark Murphy recently said quarterback Aaron Rodgers is, quote, a complicated fella, close quote. Well, Rodgers wore a shirt today that said, I'm offended, while doing a joint interview with Tom Brady for the match. So, Sal, how nervous should the Packers be right now about their quarterback?
Man, look, this shirt right here, I don't think they should be nervous. I don't like this shirt. I'm going to tell you why. And I know I'm going to sound like Donald Downer right here, and I'm supposed to be laughing, but it makes something that was respectable, whatever your issues are with the Packers, look handy. Being real about it, once you hit Crenshaw T-shirts with something, this ain't no real issue, so why should I take it seriously if you're going to act like this? Ain't nothing real in my life coming off the rack. And he trying to make light of something that's real to him, so it's kind of weak to me.
It's interesting, though, Sal. I think it now has become comical to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
A comedy of errors.
Okay.
The Green Bay Packers begging for Aaron Rodgers back. The general manager saying that the backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers still has a long way to go. Then the general manager or the CEO and president of the team coming out and quoting a deceased man and how the deceased man felt about Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is like, yo, y'all making a comedy of yourself. I'm going to get the shirt to support the jokes.
Yo, I get that. But if I'm your teammate, then I'm like, wait a minute. So you going to retire or go play somewhere else? But it's so lighthearted and so comical that you're going to wear a shirt to make light of it? Dog, this is my livelihood. We need Aaron Rodgers. Imagine if you Aaron Jones. Imagine if you them boys. We need you. That's it for us. Fox Net Live is next.